confirmed number of new coronavirus cases reported in Los Angeles County in the last 24 hours is 3,322, with 36 additional deaths. Here in Torrance, 18 additional cases were reported with no new deaths. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Bella Shaw. It's Thursday, August 26th. Following Pfizer's full approval of its COVID-19 vaccine, now the drug maker is hoping to get the same support for their booster shot. Pfizer Incorporated is now in the process of requesting full approval of its booster dose in the U.S., even as the World Health Organization says data on its benefits are inconclusive, and the focus should be to get shots in the arms of those who are unvaccinated first. Pfizer and its German partner BioNTech hope to complete the extensive submission process for the booster shot for people ages 16 and older by the end of the week. Countries like Israel began rolling out booster shots at the beginning of the month to their older citizens, and this week expanded the eligibility to those as young as 30, saying the booster shots would help increase protection against the highly infectious Delta variant. The third dose of Pfizer's COVID vaccine received emergency use authorization for those who are at least 12 years old who are immunocompromised. Earlier this month, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommended those who are immunocompromised should get a third dose of the Pfizer or Moderna COVID-19 vaccine to improve their chances of developing an adequate antibody response. The CDC also recommended that the third shot be given at least 4 weeks after the second dose of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine. Cases of COVID-19 among children continue to rise as the American Academy of Pediatrics share their latest findings. According to the AAP, more than 180,000 new cases were recorded among children across the country on the week ending on August 19th, reaching concerning levels that were seen during the winter surge. Officials say after a decline in early summer, child cases have increased exponentially, with over a four-fold increase just in the past month. Since the start of the pandemic, 4.59 million children have tested positive for COVID-19. While hospitalizations and deaths remain low for pediatric patients, cases are expected to continue surging as the school year begins and vaccines remain unauthorized for children under 12 years old. Johnson & Johnson also shared new data showing that a second dose of their COVID-19 vaccine could generate a rapid and robust increase in protection as soon as 6 months after receiving the single-dose regimen. This comes a week after the U.S. Food and Drug Administration gave its full approval to Pfizer's two-dose COVID-19 vaccine. And while the FDA approval did not include a Pfizer booster shot, the third shot could come as soon as next month, as the Biden administration is recommending that adults who are fully vaccinated with the two-dose regimen get a third shot at least 8 months after their second shot. Data shared by Johnson & Johnson shows that antibodies created from a second dose were 9 times higher after 28 days compared to those who received just the one shot over the same period. Currently, J&J's one-dose vaccine is available under the emergency use authorization for adults 18 and older, and the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has yet to recommend a second dose for this vaccine. California workers are being urged to wear masks when at work regardless of vaccination status. Last month, the state's Department of Public Health updated its mask-wearing guidance in response to the surge in new COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations, and recommended that everyone wear face masks once again in public indoor spaces regardless of whether you've been vaccinated. Cal OSHA, the state's Division of Occupational Safety and Health, is now aligning with that guidance as more COVID-19 infections are reported in the workplace throughout the state. While it's not an official mask mandate, Cal OSHA officials say employers must provide face masks to workers who request one. Throughout the state, the policy still remains that masks are required when in public settings like hospitals, public transportation, schools, and shelters. Delta Airlines is setting the tone with their employees that if they're not vaccinated, there will be financial consequences, and it won't be cheap. Delta announced plans to charge employees on the company health plan $200 a month if they fail to get vaccinated against COVID-19. A policy top executives say is necessary, as the average hospital stay for someone with COVID-19 cost the airline upwards of $40,000. This will take effect beginning November of this year. Delta CEO Ed Bastian says that all employees who have been hospitalized for the virus in recent weeks were not fully vaccinated. The airline said it would also stop extending pay protection to unvaccinated workers who contract COVID beginning September 30th and will require workers to be tested weekly beginning the middle of next month on the company's dime. This comes as a close match to United Airlines' strict policy, which requires employees to be fully vaccinated by September 27th or face termination. So far, Delta's workforce consists of a 75% vaccination rate among employees, which is up from 72% in mid-July. The highly anticipated first day of school is finally here for the Torrance Unified School District as they welcome back close to 22,500 students this morning. The district posted its back-to-school safety and health guidance on their website, which is in accordance with the county's Department of Public Health K-12 protocols. This is to ensure a seamless transition as families prepare for the return of in-person learning once again. The county's public health orders include self-screening at home prior to arriving at school. Families are asked to stay home if experiencing any COVID-19 symptoms or if they've been exposed to someone with the virus. Parents of younger children and high schoolers are asked to take the TUSD Daily Symptom Screener, and if cleared, a green screen is shown with a timestamp. Those will be required when arriving on campus. Families will also find signage placed throughout the campus to remind students and staff about physical distancing and hand washing to help promote healthy hygiene practices. Students and staff are required to wear masks when indoors, and students' desks have been spaced 3 feet apart in the classrooms. Air filtration systems have also been enhanced to improve indoor air quality, and students and staff are encouraged to frequently wash hands and use hand sanitizer. Now, despite asking families to abide by this new standard of normal, it was all smiles and cheers as many friends and teachers have not been together for nearly a year and a half. Families are reminded to check the district's website and Facebook page for updates. You could go to TUSD.org. Well, some good news for school children as they head back to school. Thanks to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, they've extended the seamless summer option, which provided free breakfast and lunch to all children during the summer months, to continue through the 2021 to 2022 school year. Torrance students will be offered individually plated meals, including a salad bar option, along with fresh fruits and vegetables. Students not attending in person will be offered a 5-day bulk meal bag available on Mondays at North High School from 7 to 8 a.m. each week. As part of the Biden administration's commitment to reopening schools safely, several meal service flexibilities were created and are being extended through June 30th, 2022. The waivers include healthy meals free of charge to all children as the pandemic has threatened the food and nutrition security of many vulnerable children. A recent study from Tufts University found that in 2018, schools were the single healthiest source of U.S. food consumed across a sample of children and adults. The 2018 study found that diet quality for foods from schools improved significantly from a similar study conducted in 2003. During the pandemic, up to 12 million children are said to be living in households where they may not always have enough to eat. California is making historic moves to ensure every child has access to food, even into the next school year. Recent data found that nearly 1 in every 6 children face food insecurities in the U.S. And California is slated to be the first state to promise every public school student, which estimates to be about 6 million, to receive free school meals. And thanks to California Senator Nancy Skinner and Governor Gavin Newsom, the Universal School Meals Program will launch in the next school year. It's part of the landmark state budget agreement reached between the governor and the legislature last month. The program ensures that all students will be offered breakfast and lunch at their school, as research shows having access to nutritious meals is essential to learning. While Senator Skinner introduced the bill in March to establish the Universal School Meal Program, after receiving bipartisan support, lawmakers opted to include it in the state budget rather than as a separate bill, calling for $650 million to help reimburse school districts starting in 2022 and an additional $54 million for the 2021 to 22 fiscal year to supplement state meal reimbursements. The state program is set to begin in 2022 through 23, as the U.S. Department of Agriculture has already committed to paying for meals through the current school year. August 26th marks National Women's Equality Day. This day commemorates the 1920 adoption of the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution, granting women the right to vote. The designation was not celebrated until 1973, when Congresswoman Bella Abzug of New York introduced a resolution to designate the date as Women's Equality Day. Now, despite the ratification of the 19th Amendment, millions were still denied those rights through poll taxes, literacy tests, and campaigns of violence and terror targeting voters of color. It took another 45 years before the Voting Rights Act secured the voting rights of millions of Americans of color, and an additional 10 years before voting protection would reflect the many languages spoken in the country. President Biden released a proclamation today acknowledging the pioneers whose fight for suffrage paved the way for future generations of leaders and celebrating the extraordinary courage and resolve of women in our history. He also says we recognize our duty to continue to fight to ensure that our daughters can enjoy the same rights and opportunities as our sons. The Torrance Fire Department continues to support the Area G strike team in battling the fires up north. Over the past few weeks, firefighters from Torrance were deployed to the Dixie fires, then reassigned to the Calder fire located in El Dorado County. And this is the first time in the department's history that they've been deployed for 6 continuous weeks, successfully rotating firefighters out every 14 days. With the state's limited resources, the strike teams have been able to make an impact, helping to save not only homes but structures from complete destruction. Torrance Fire Chief Martin Cerna shared some updates with city leaders and asked to keep their team and their thoughts and prayers for a safe return. The anticipation continues as the all-star team from Torrance plays against the Little League team from Hamilton, Ohio. The game kicked off at the top of the hour as the teams faced off in a rematch of Torrance's 9-0 win on Sunday. The team of 11 and 12-year-olds from Torrance have garnered quite the fan base, as many came out yesterday to Shakey's Pizza to cheer on this local team. The game is being televised on ESPN right now. The winner of today's match will face the unbeaten South Dakota team in a semifinal game Saturday morning. Torrance is aiming to be the first team from Los Angeles County to win the Little League World Series since 1963, when a team from Granada Hills brought home the title. California has won 7 Little League World Series titles, the last one by a team from Huntington Beach in 2011. You can follow them on their journey by checking out their Facebook page. A watch party is taking place right now at Rizzo's Pizza in Lomita. And a big thank you to Wendy Turner, who shared these awesome photos with us. As we wrap up this week, be sure to tune in to Weekends in Torrance beginning Friday right here on Citi Cable. Episodes begin at 2 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. On Friday, join Colleen Farrell as she takes us back to opening night of Torrance Art Museum's Ultra Art exhibit, a unique, one-of-a-kind experience where you can see artwork installed throughout the community. Then, with catalytic converter theft on the rise, the Torrance Police Department offered a safety prevention event, and we'll take you there. On Sunday, take a tour with Leslie Robbins as she tells us how one local business is not only surviving the pandemic, but thriving thanks to the community's support. Weekends in Torrance kicks off tomorrow at 2 p.m. You can watch it on Spectrum Cable Channel 3, Fios Channel 31, or stream it on our website, as well as on YouTube. Well, before we go, at the end of each show, we like to share feel-good stories from our community, images and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. The Torrance Art Museum invites the community to a free, one-weekend-only pop-up art exhibition featuring more than 500 artists. This summer's premier art event is called Nomad, and it's taking place this Saturday and Sunday, August 28th and 29th, inside the medical building at Del Amo Crossing. It's an experience you won't want to miss. To get more information, go to nomadartshow.com. Masks are mandatory to attend. What a great way to showcase so many talented artists under one roof and show support for our arts community. Now, if you have a great story, upcoming event, a photo or video you'd like to share, email us at COVID-19today@torranceca.gov We would love to hear from you. Well, that's our update for COVID-19 today. We'll see you back here on Monday as Leslie Robbins brings you the latest. Be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.